Hello everybody, you're watching Curious Pavel, and in today's video we will share some facts with you for Florence Nightingale. So, Florence Nightingale, she was born 1820 in Florence, Italy. As you can imagine, she was named after the city. Shortly after, they moved with their parents back to England, and since her early ages, she realizes that she likes to care for people. Oh look, Santa is driving a car. Anyway, she likes to care for people and she wants to be a nurse, but her family, and especially her father, was against this because they were wealthy and the nurses at that time were coming from poor background. But she followed her dream and eventually her father gave her his blessing. Her peak was when the Crimean War broke out. If you didn't check it, we already made a video about the Crimean War and you can have a look at it over here. So she went to the Crimean. Actually, when the war breaks out, she writes to the ministry, she writes to the government to offer her help. But her friend, this guy here, his name is Sidney Herbert. At that time he was the Secretary of War. They met about 10 years before the war and they became good friends. So Sidney Herbert directly sends her to the Crimea. When she arrives there, she sees the terrible conditions in the hospitals. It's full with rats, no clean clothes, no food. The soldiers who were wounded, they were sleeping in overcrowded, dirty rooms with limited blankets and beds. Imagine this. 1 in every 6 soldiers was dying from their war injuries. Everybody else from diseases. So she cleaned up the hospitals, she trained nurses, and she raised dramatically the numbers of lives saved in the hospitals. She really cared for the people. She even visited them when everybody else was asleep, for which she is later called the lady with the lamp. And that is why she is holding a lamp. Who wants to be a millionaire question. When the war finishes, she goes back to England. Now her parents, who were ashamed of her, now they were very proud and they were showing off by hosting lots of parties. But she didn't want the attention. She wrote a book called Notes on Nursing and she established the Nightingale Training School in St. Thomas Hospital in London. That happened in 1860, so she was about 40. Later she gave advice to the Americans about how to treat injured people in their civil war. Now, I don't know if you have seen Queen Victoria. Have a look. I haven't met her, but she looks a type of person that it's kind of difficult to be impressed. Well, Florence managed to impress her, and Queen Victoria gives her the Royal Red Cross. Her son, Queen Victoria's son, Edward VII, gives to Florence the Order of Merit, which is awarded for a woman for the very first time. This happened in 1907. 3 years later, Florence died. She was aged 90, and even though her last 40 years of her life, more or less, she was really weak and spent most of them in bed, she still found strength to write letters and inspire people. 4 hospitals in Turkey are called after her, and there's a Nightingale Museum in St. Thomas Hospital in London. We'll put a link in the description to the museum in case you want to visit it. So let's go around the monument. She was very popular with the soldiers because they felt like she's their mother. She was really caring. This here, I suppose, happened after the war, because before that, the country didn't care about treating the injured people. Once you're injured, most likely you're done. Remember, 1 in every 6. So the nursing before her was done by people who are too old, too drunken, or too stupid to do anything else. But after that, as you can see, everybody in the room, I suppose that's her, everybody in the room is faced to her, which shows some respect. Over here, we see only women. Now there was a time when she was at the Crimea when she got ill and everybody was worried. This was time when she was already established and people already cared about her back. And they were kind of worried that she's not gonna survive, but she did. The Crimea was full with diseases, but once again she survived. And here on this side, I suppose that's her waiting at the door for the soldiers to arrive, and you can see some nurses which are trained by her, and that's about it. She participated in the Crimean War. We made a video. Check the video. If you like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to YouTube, like our Facebook page, and I will see you there. Oh, next time we'll talk about the battles during the Crimean War. So we're gonna stay on this place, we're gonna talk about this monument and something curious about it. So I'll see you next time.